I am very happy to have here Dr. Rhonda Barovsky from the University of California and Dr. Heather Clague from the University of Yale. And I have a question in mind, and I thank you for a great conference you gave here in workshops. But I know the answer for myself because I'm a Team CBT trainer and psychotherapist. And I know why I started my work with David Burns and Team CBT, but I was wondering, with so many years in the field before and coming from other traditions, what is it that made you make this transition to Team CBT?
Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Yeah, so I finished my training in 2003, and I came to Team CBT in 2014. So I was practicing for 11 years as a psychiatrist and mostly as a psychodynamic psychotherapist. And I love that work. I think I helped people, and it was very rewarding work. But I had a subgroup of patients that were not getting better and that I was feeling stuck with. And so I was curious and wanted to check out CBT, and I stumbled into one of David Burns's intensives, and I was really swept away at how powerful the techniques were. And the more I've done my training, I've actually completely transitioned now to being a Team CBT therapist. And not only did it help me with the patients I was stuck with, it helped me in ways I wasn't expecting with my other patients, and things that I would have thought would have taken years now take weeks to months. And my practice is so much more exciting now because people get to work, do the work, get better, finish. I get to take on new patients instead of seeing people for a long time, many year treatments. I see people in much shorter amount of times in ways that feel, I end my day feeling excited and energized.
And what about you?
Well, I'm a forensic psychologist and I've worked in areas where psychology connects with the law. And I've done a lot of work with family court, and I've worked with sex offenders, and I was at a place and people that I worked with were often angry, they were not getting better, they were not happy, and I was not happy. I was feeling really sort of traumatized by the work, and I thought, I'm getting out of the field altogether. And I really like making sandwiches. So, because I've experienced years making sandwiches for my children, and so I thought, I'm going to stop being a psychologist and open a sandwich shop. And I was actually looking for places in the city I live in where I could open my sandwich shop, because I was just so tired of working with people who weren't getting better, who were angry at me, and feeling hopeless. I was feeling hopeless. That the skills I had were not providing service to others, not what my goal was in life. And so I got a flyer in the mail that a David Burns workshop, an intensive, a 4-day intensive, in 2013, and it was really, people were saying this is the best workshop ever, and you're going to see great results. And I thought, okay, I'll try one more time. And so I went to the intensive and immediately thought, oh my God, it was just very rejuvenating, and just like Heather, it completely changed my practice. I now slowly tapered out of forensic work, and I'm doing 100% Team CBT. And it's so rewarding because it's super effective, and people can get better, in 8 weeks. Someone who has a big problem can do the work, go through the methods with us, the whole structure of Team CBT, and it's so rewarding to have someone say, I feel better, I've reached my goal, and now I'm off to live my life. And we teach them skills, because nobody's going to be happy 100% of, because they come to therapy, now they're going to be happy forever, because life happens to people. But the beauty of Team CBT is that we teach them the skills, so if something happens in their life and they again may feel depressed or anxious, they know how to handle it so that they can resolve their problems on their own.
Yes, something
I love
that's
I love that.
that's great.
I have a question for you, Rhonda, because you also use team tools in your forensic work, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you have any example of that, or? things, especially like 5 secrets?
Yeah, well, I often do work with couples who are divorced or divorcing, and they can't communicate with each other about their children, and I often work with them individually and teach them the strength of the 5 secrets so that they can communicate better with each other. I also work with, sometimes when parents are divorced, they become estranged from their children, and so I often do what we call reunification therapy with an estranged parent and a child, and this doing Team CBT works remarkably well with them to heal that relationship. Thank you for asking. But you work with very difficult patients, don't you? How does Team CBT work with the kinds of, do you want to?
Sure.
With the kinds of patients that you see?
Yeah, I mean, I think of Team CBT as sort of the best of psychodynamic and CBT together. That in the formulation of the Team CBT method, David Burns has captured so much wisdom that's in psychodynamic therapy and given it a structure and made it explicit in a way that makes it very easy to teach, easy to learn, easy to know if you're on track. The terms are formulated with a lot of clarity and sophistication. And so, because I think there can be sometimes a divide between folks that think psychodynamically and people that use CBT, and I think Team CBT is actually a pretty remarkable integration of those two perspectives.
Yeah, I wanted to comment that also when I studied CBT in Israel and Team CBT was offered as part of it, really hooked me because of the clarity of the model and as you say, the integration. And something I did see in your training here in Mexico, the way that you set up your talks and workshops, that you were always willing to put yourself and show with the students or the people that showed up in the workshops a personal problem they had, and right there, just to show how the model works. And I love about our model that we don't say somebody does that, we do it and we show it. And that's why I think it's growing so rapidly here in Mexico, and I certainly thank you for helping us grow this movement.
I'm interrupting you because I'm so excited, but I wanted to echo your point that, another reason why I found Team CBT so compelling is it's helped me with my own personal work. And I think it's less hierarchical of saying there's some therapist up here and a patient down here. And what's interesting about Team CBT is there are people who come to it who don't have clinical degrees. And in fact, sometimes they're some of the best Team CBT therapists. That really, these are techniques and tools that anyone who's motivated can learn. And I think it could even change the paradigm about self-help, not having to be some, perfect, expensive professional expert, but there can be a lot of peer-to-peer healing that happens as well.
I mean, actually, that's what David Burns, there's been research about that depressed patients who's been given David Burns' book, Feeling Good Handbook. And
that is Sentirse Bien in Spanish.
That they have felt better than patients who have, I can't speak about the research specific, in great detail, but there are people who are put on a waiting list, and they are told, you have 4 weeks until you get to see a therapist, but while you're waiting for these 4 weeks, take this, read this David Burns' book, Feeling Good Handbook, and do all the exercises in it. And another group was given a different book that was just a random philosophy book that had nothing to do with therapy. And then there was a control group that were given no books. They just were in a waiting list. And it was statistically significant that the patients who were given David Burns' book for the 4 weeks while they were waiting got better.
Yeah, 75% got better, and that's a remarkable result. I want to conclude this session by thanking you so much for helping us bring technique in a school. Well, David doesn't like to call it a school, but a trend in psychotherapy that helps us also in the personal level. Each one of us,
Yes.
we grow, and our patients grow, and our students grow here. And I thank you very much for that. And I will also mention that Rhonda hosts a podcast with Dr. David Burns every week. So look for it. the David Burns podcast.
It's called the Feeling Good podcast.
Which is called the Feeling Good podcast. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.